Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the iRacing Esports Network for the World GT Championship, presented by Apex Racing TV, rounds 29, 30 and 31 of Season 6, brought to you from the Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya in Spain. Hello everybody, I'm Andrew Woodhouse, and I'm joined once again by Adam Bath. And Adam, well, one of iRacing's newest circuits, and one which is a tremendous track to drive, it really is, and we should see some excellent racing out here.
Yeah, 20-minute sprint races coming up once again here. We rode America last week on the Bend, and now we head to mainland Europe, to Spain, and yeah, really looking forward to seeing what's going to happen. We've seen plenty of touring car racing around this circuit, but I'm yet to see too much in the way of the GT cars that we see here in the World GT Championship. So I'm really intrigued to see what we're going to have on our hands in the free races we've got coming up. It's the penultimate round of the season as well, because after this we've got just the Glen, and then we're done for the season. So yeah, not too much longer to go in this championship before we crown our champions in the Pro and the Pro-Am category.
Indeed, and we had an amazing race meeting here in the ARL TCR, which was also on the iRacing Esports Network a few weeks ago, and I'm sure we could get just as close at action here. 3 20-minute races for those who are new to the series. If you are, welcome. Thanks for joining us here in qualifying. 15 minutes the drivers have to set the time, which will decide the grid. And at the moment it's Keith Camilleri. Now, he's the championship leader, 127 points ahead of Mike Fletcher at the moment. Keith Camilleri is the man on provisional pole position. 138.696 is the marker, Adam, and halfway through the session, that's a good advantage to have, 4/10.
Yeah, it is. We've just got Miguel Freitas coming through the final corner now, see if he can improve. This is one of the circuits we've got on the iRacing service that has got 3 sectors, like you see in Formula 1. And Freitas comes over the line, and I don't think he was able to improve. I think we've got, as we are just over halfway through the session, I think everybody else is coming in, taking stock, and then coming back out again to do their second runs. Ethan Bass coming across the line. He's 6th in the Pro-Am category, and it looks like he's going to stay there. So, yeah, the Brittech Sim Sport car carrying on. We spoke to him last week after Road America, and he may be the Lone Ranger in terms of the Brittech Sim Sport crew now, but he's enjoying it. Oh, what's happened?
That's Ethan Bass spinning. No, it's not. It's a CQR car spinning, and it's
Andy Shield.
Shield.
Yeah, there he is. There we go. We've got him up on screen now, and let's have a look at a replay and see how this took place. This is a Sim Sports Racing USA car and the Porsche CQR Club that almost certainly is either Chris. Oh well, he loses it on his own, doesn't he? Turning into the left-hander.
Yeah, just got a wheel on the grass into Worth. Yeah, difficult corner. You've got to try and really maximise that entry. We're looking at Keith Camilleri now through the long turn 3 corner, which really punishes tyres around Circuit de Catalunya. Into 4, you can hear the rear of the car, Adam, trying to get away from him, and it looks tidy though so far.
Yeah, he was pointing. He was giving a good job of keeping the wheels straight, wasn't he?
Yeah, a bit wide there through turn 5, up the hill, then into Campson, fast right-hander, ferocious corner, runs a bit wide again. Don't know if he's got away with that. Oh, bit of a well, I don't know if that was a bit of slipstream, and he's missed it.
No,
missed turn 10 quite badly, and that'll be his lap ruined.
Yeah, he was getting a bit of a toe off his teammate there. Was Keith. Jake Blackwell was purple in the first sector for a while, but I think it might have just been trumped. Where is the Aussie? He's just coming through. Oh, he's towed back to the pits. So we won't be seeing him set a provisional pole time. Lewis Bibby's just come across the line now. There he is, the BMW, but is not able to improve. He stays in P8 as there's a bit of a traffic jam coming out of the pits. That is Freitas, and the Porsche, that would be CQR GT, that would probably be Blackwell coming back out. Indeed, it is.
Yeah, Bibby was flashing the lights at the traffic to say, I'm on a fast lap. Get out of the way. Porsche in front of him as well, which I believe is now Michael Blake. He's quit the BMW and called it a few harsh things, but never mind that.
Into the pits is coming. Andy Shield, but Mark Fletcher though he is coming into the pits too as he comes through the final corner. Simon Underhill looks like he's on a decent lap though. The Pro-Am driver sits in 16th. It was a green personal best middle sector for him, but we'll see if the Nomad Sim Racing Black Beamer can improve on 16th place overall as he comes into the final chicane.
Really nice through the chicane as well. Nice and precise for Underhill. Through the final corner, personal best in the middle sector. Over the line he goes then. What can he do? He's 1.3 seconds off and he's gained a 10.5, so 1.2 seconds shy of Camilleri's pole position time for Simon Underhill. Man with 3,000 I rating, so very solid driver indeed.
Yeah, quite a lot of solid I ratings here. Lewis Bibby improves 39.5. Christian Rose flying up to second with a 39.0. Very good lap time there by the Porsche, and he gets right in and amongst the Ferrari stranglehold in the top 6 because he is literally the black sheep out of the top 6. It's pretty much all Ferraris.
Highest I rating in the field is Keith Camilleri, who is the championship leader, so maybe not a complete shocker in terms of that. And then Dave Baker just behind him. Third man over 5,000 I rating is actually Pete Newman. So I don't know why I'm a little surprised about that. Pete's a very good driver indeed, but must admit, Adam, I hadn't quite had him down as a 5,000 I rating driver, but fair play to him.
No, what does that make? What was that? Oh, we can't really talk about it. 18k I rating. Me and Mike Gray are a good
18k I rating, there you go.
18k. It's been a long day. 1800 I rating, I should say. I'll be doing rather well at that. I think I'll probably be snapped up by a good team at that point. Otherwise, I wouldn't be up here. But me and Mike Gray are doing well with the 1.8k club.
2005 at the moment. It's not too bad, I think. Now we're looking at Christian Rose in the Porsche. Actually, Ben Gregory's coming across. He's done a good lap. In the Ferrari, where does he go?
No, might not.
Did he not improve?
Might have been an invalid lap. All green for Miguel Freitas. And as a result, he flies up to 4th with a 39.1.
Yeah, brilliant from the Portuguese. Extremely happy with that. Using all of the track going into the S's. And why not? Through 3, car looks nicely balanced. Oh, here's Fletcher then. Mark Fletcher.
He might just be starting a lap, actually.
Just starting one. I think from all the cars that there are in this series, Adam, I think that the Ferrari is a really good all-rounder. It can deal with pretty much any type of circuit.
Yeah, I think we can see that from the sheer proportion of Ferraris that we've got in the top 10. Really, the BMW though, it's not looking too shabby. Obviously, the BMW in the past on iRacing has been a bit of an underdog almost. Remember the Z4? I wonder if there's still a cult following for that. I remember driving that when it was probably the slowest thing in many series and whatnot. But this new M8, I've got that right, M8, that is doing quite well. I had to think then. I was about to say M4, but never mind that. As Mark Fletcher comes onto the back straight here, car 111, currently sat in 6th. Got a few cars in front of him on the road coming through the final corner. You can see that from the track map. Freitas and Rose just coming over the timing line now. You'll see on the tower whether they'll be going up the order at all. Checker flag is now out. Keith Camilleri is definitely not going to improve because he's in the pits. Oh dear.
Well, Fletcher was pushing hard coming into the final sector, and I think he might have been just a bit behind on his time. He was very hard indeed, and going to be P6 for him. We've got Mike Gray on a lap. Personal best first sector for him. The XVR sim racing car. Here he is.
Oh!
Coming into the... Oh!
Bit of a pre-race 1 donuts there from Mike Gray. Next up on the times then will be Pete Harrod. Oh, and he's not going at all quickly. Neither is Pete Newman that's behind him. And I think we might have just one more. Did Christian Rose cross the line in time? That's the important thing. It looks like he's just coming back into the pits. That doesn't look like it's a quick lap to me. Yeah, he is touring back in.
Yeah, it's easy right off. So the grid has been set. And just a few short minutes, the race will get underway here. And tell you what, it's a good advantage for Camilleri in terms of qualifying, but I tell you what, it doesn't always manifest itself like that in the circuit in Catalunya. We see that it's quite hard to escape sometimes.
Yeah, we've seen that quite a lot in the races that we've covered in the ARL TCR. Obviously, these cars are quite different, but the format is pretty much the same. 3 20-minute sprint races. We've got reverse grids as well to contend with in race 2 and race 3. And I reckon if you can stick with the car through the tight and twisty stuff, especially in the final section, then you might stand a good chance coming out of the final corner. As we've seen with quite a few cars, they are liable to making a mistake into the final chicane. It is very, very slow in these cars that traditionally raced around quite quick circuits. So that could be very interesting.
Yeah, and if you do make a mess of that final chicane, of course, you'll pay for that all the way down the long main straight. Right, they're about ready for the race to start. Qualifying comes to an end. We're going to see the grid up on the screen in the second. In fact, here it is, Adam. Take it away.
Here we go then. So on pole position is Keith Camilleri for Casey Racing Esports. Second is Christian Rose. Then third, Michael Evdoka. Then fourth, Miguel Freitas. P5, Richard Kafenku, and then 300ths of a second behind him is Mark Fletcher. Then we've got Andy Scheel, and just over 100th behind the Aussie Jake Blackhall, the top Pro-Am in the field. 9th for Dave Baker, and 10th Lewis Bibby. 11th on the grid is Pete Harrod, and then Mark Woodhouse in 12th. 13th, Ben Palmer. 14th, Rich Warmingham. 15th for Mike Gray. And then 1,000th of a second behind him is Pete Newman. Then Simon Underhill, Ben Gregory, Ethan Bass, Chaz Draycott. I think he's got a live stream of this race going tonight. Michael Blake there in 21st. And then the 2 cars that haven't set times, Brandon Tabone and Matt Bunn. It might be a couple of tenths of a second for Keith Camilleri at the front, but as we've seen in the midfield, it is exceptionally close. And to have 21 cars separated by just 2 seconds, that's no mean feat. That's quite an achievement in these cars.
Yeah, it's a massive night for Camilleri. It really is. 3 good races here. And really put a stranglehold on this GT chip.
And you may have noticed standing start.
Yes. See how. These aren't great to get off the line either. Oh, see what happens.
Oh, that's not a good camera angle at all. There we go.
It is not. No.
Tell you what though, just for I'll disregard that point. We're getting ready to go.
Right then, everybody. Here on the iRacing Esports Network, the red lights are ready to come on. And then we'll be racing at Circuit of Catalunya. Green light is on, we're away. Really good start by Camilleri. Really got away well. Christian Rose in 2nd place. Michael Evdoka also got away decently too. Everyone away clean. Is he going to continue to the S's section as Evdoka has a look on Christian Rose? and just behind them is Kafenko and Freitas coming through. 4th and 5th, and the BMW is almost getting swamped there as Fletcher comes into the equation, as does Shield.
Looks like it was a clean start from everyone. There was a bit of, there was a Porsche that was up on 2 wheels at one point, but as we go into the second trouble spot of the circuit, everybody is pretty much behaving themselves. Kafenko at 1 spot already, and look at this, 3 wide.
Is the BMW going to make it 3 wide? He nearly loses it. Under braking, no ABS on these GTE cars. Very nearly paid for it with a position there as Ben Palmer, that is, getting in on the action. Around the outside goes the other BMW, that's Lewis Bibby, overtaking David Baker, and that might allow, yes, through goes Palmer up through Campson. Really great start then from everybody jostling for position in this first round of the evening in the World GT Championship. Camilleri lead. He's already got 9/10 of a second on him, he's not messing about.
Oh!
There's a crash, there's been a crash, and it's down at turn 10. Richard Warmingham's involved.
There's
Drake.
Oh no, the returnee to the series was once an admin on this, and he is off on in the left-hander. Don't know what happened to cause that. Oh, more chaos. That's Michael Blake. That is the complex. That is where the MotoGP bikes go.
And car 11 looked like it was off as well. That's Matt Bunn.
Oh no, not again.
I wonder if it collided with Michael Blake.
Well, we'll have to wait and see. End of the opening lap, then it's Camilleri that leads, Christian Rose in second, then it's Evdoka, Gafenku, Freitas, Shield and Fletcher as quite a few cars have come into the pits. Let's get let's dissect what happened at the hairpin then.
So Warmingham coming into the braking area. He's on the outside. Somebody goes for the move. Oh, he gets hit by the Ferrari, and that's Draycott coming in. And then is Draycott going to come back on and get... Oh, he gets quarter panel by the Ferrari. I think that's Gregory.
Yes, it was. Next up is Michael Blake then. This is into the complex. That's the Nomad car. Oh, I think he just gets offline.
Loses the rear. Bang! Into the BMW he goes. And that was Underhill, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That ended up getting walloped. And that is not a healthy looking Porsche at all.
Not too sure what resulted in Woodhouse coming into the pits. Might just check this one more time.
It looks like he's got damage to the rear left.
Everything looking fine here. Into the left-hander. Oh, that will... Everything fine there too. Oh, bless me.
He didn't jump the start, did he? He gets hit in the rear. Does the BMW have a go? BMW loses. Oh dear, Matt Bunn loses it. Woodhouse is going through on the chicane.
I've got a feeling I know what it is, and I think I might have found it for you here. Right, so he gets a good start. Oh no, we're looking at Ben Palmer here. Here we go, Romboy with Woodhouse. And in fact, let's go to the chopper. I've got a feeling we're going to see him get launched onto 2 wheels. I don't know whether this might cause a meatball flag.
Maybe breaking the suspension floor or something. Oh, he gets... Oh, yeah. That'll be a rear left suspension damage. Most likely. Yeah, could well be a meatball. It doesn't look like it's driving perfectly. Well, but here's Gafenku then. Camilleri has just decided that I do not want anything to do with the rest of you. And he's 1.5 seconds clear already. We've seen a considered approach from him this season, but is anything but this is hell for leather.
Yeah, he's really going at it, isn't he? And he is looking unstoppable in some of the race meetings that we've been to. Obviously, the reverse grid helps spice up the action a bit, but in race 1, where we've got the quickest guys at the front, Camilleri is really coming to his own this season. Even with the entries going down a bit, he's still right at the forefront of things as Gafenku flies over those inside curves.
Oh, that was a quick line though. He gained half a second nearly on Michael Evdoka just through that chicane alone. So he carried the speed, he rode it out. Camilleri unsurprisingly sets the fastest lap, 1:39.225.
Fight for third looks like it's going to be the one that that is going to be the one to watch during the race. We've got 2 Ferraris, we've got the BMW of Freitas and the what looks like impatient Ferrari of Andy Shield getting by. All of these drivers are competing over the final spot on the podium, and of course a little bit of the bubbly as well.
Yes. Well, Camilleri will make a big step towards becoming Le Champion if he can do a good meet tonight, starting off in absolutely fine style. Pete Harrod's passed Ben Palmer then for 11th position on the circuit. Pete Newman. Oh, sorry, Pete Harrod, sorry, not Pete Newman.
Yeah, there is the Beamer. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh, what's that? I can hear somebody sliding.
It's Newman.
Yeah, I think he's dropped down behind Tabone. Tabone running unusually down near the back.
Yeah, he didn't set a time in quali. That might have been as a result of penalties picked up from last week. And here is a scrap for 11th position between Palmer, Harrod and Gray. In the front of that BMW of Palmer. Oh, is that looking good?
In front of Palmer a minute ago.
Yeah, he's. I think he might have just got back by as the three of them, the trio, come onto the front straight.
He's got some aero damage, it looks like, though. As Harrod's closing in, is he going to have a go? No.
Camilleri enters this race meeting with a 127-point lead over Mark Fletcher, who currently sits in P6, and he's if this race so far has anything to go by, looks set to extend that even more. Oh, something's kicked off here.
Turn 3. Jake Blackall's involved. He's in the gravel trap. Who's the other one?
I think it might have been Andy Shield, maybe. Running on board.
Oh, it's in 4, not 3. Oh, the Ferrari kind of gets a bit wide and maybe slides to the rear a little bit. Blackall maybe understeers slightly, and yeah, that was the result.
And I think in a moment we're going to see Ben Palmer go for a trip to the kitty litter, perhaps. Because
this might be in Worth, isn't it? Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
It's just what Shield did in qualifying. Oh,
God, it was like those go faster stripes on Mario Kart or something. The car seemed to pick up speed as he went flying through the gravel trap. That's not what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to either slow you down or get you beached.
Surely he's got to slow down penalty for that. Imagine so. And yeah, once again he's at the mercy of Pete Harrod. Closing in reasonably quickly, but I don't think we'll see a move from him. If he didn't have a go at him last time, I don't think he's going to have a go 3/10 back. Proves to be the case. Time. Here's Richard Gafencu then, in 3rd position. He's looking back at former championship leader Michael Evdoka. And all 4 of these drivers, Adam, in this pack, Gafencu, Evdoka, Freitas, Fletcher, all got a huge upside. They've all got a massive talent. And, you know, they'll be fighting over the championship for multiple seasons if they stay in this league.
Yeah, and it is still on really for 1st, 2nd and 3rd. Fletcher just 127 points behind Camilleri, and here we are riding on board with Gafencu, looking back at Evdoka in 4th. Evdoka's 3rd in the championship, and he's only 3, 4, 5, just over 30 points behind. So no, it's by all means not lost yet for the Texense Fitstyle Motorsport car as they go through the final sector of the circuit. No Christian Schallin here today, it looks like, just by what I can see anyway, so that's a shame. The Radicals Online 10 Racing 911.
I wasn't here last week either, Charlotte.
Alright.
The only problem that all these drivers have got is that Camilleri's leading the race. They're running out of races more than anything else, really. As you mentioned, if there's only going to be, what, 6 races left, including this one. Yeah, that might be a slight problem. again dropping points to Gate Camilleri. Gefenku goes wide. That might get Evdoka interested through the first sector. Just close to within 4/10 of them, so we're giving him a sniff 10 minutes ago.
Looks quite close. I just had a look at the website, but they've got Montreal and Laguna Seca down on their schedule, but the dates are wrong, so I'm not too sure. After that, I'm trying to work out whether they're bluffing or not.
Well,
but
it does say 37 racing on that they're in, but as we know, calendars aren't always they are subject to change. Fenku looks like he's tidied this lap up quite well and managed away by a 10th or 2 from Evdoka. Freitas is sat there really, waiting for something to happen. Dave Baker set his personal best lap on the time. He's in P8, kind of his own really. There is car 6, QR Club.
They're kind of upholding the honour for Porsche really here, aren't they? Because CQR Club represented in P2 and P8. And then after that, every other Porsche has been involved in something so far as Dave Baker utilising all the curbs. Woodhouse has been into the pits for a fast repair. So too Michael Blake, and Jake Blackwell was in the gravel a couple of laps ago. So not too many manufacturer points for Porsche here.
Yeah, poor old Charles Draycott won't be doing extreme many favours down in 19th place. Sort of 10 seconds behind Rich Warmingham, 7 seconds ahead of Mark Woodhouse. Pete Newman and Ben Gregory, 10th spot. Oh yeah, might have a go here.
Good entry by the CQR P&M with Lizard car, but Gregory took the more favourable line on the outside and was able to pull a few car lengths. Look at the confidence that Newman has under braking. I say that, he just drifts a little bit wide, but the blue and black Ferrari does look pretty menacing here as we have just got over 7 minutes to go. No, I cursed him.
He had to get out of that, didn't he? He was understeering into the gravel at the outside of turn 5.
Nice.
Harrod, but it's great.
Is inviting that left-hander, I must admit, at the end of the back straight, but the BMW stays ahead of the Ferrari for now. I've been reliably informed that the new Ferrari versus Ford film that's coming out in a couple of weeks is very good.
Yeah, I've heard that too. That'll be interesting to see. Of course, based around these cars are sort of the kind of like a spiritual successor. I suppose the old race at Le Mans, you know, it's the same goal for them as it was for Ford and Ferrari back in the day.
Yeah, I tell you what, if you picked someone out of the 1960s and dropped them in an LMP1 garage a couple of years ago, from a couple of years ago, like the Audis and the Peugeots, that their mind literally would be blown, I think. It's the technology.
I'd always love to see that. I would love to see that. I know, obviously, it's always one thing I'd love to see if see someone like completely out of their own time and see what they make of everything.
Big metal birds in the sky, etc. Yeah.
Yeah. That's it. And racing especially, you know, is one of the sports where, I mean, if you watched football now, if you dropped from the 1960s and watched a football match, it would resemble a football match. I think racing is one of the areas, one of the sport changed the most. Absolutely. Would be kind of unrecognisable, I guess, like Juan Manuel Fangio, even if he was still alive.
Yeah, he passed away 95, so didn't see quite some change in that time, must admit. But
tell you what, Palmer's got a great. Did hammer that curve, didn't he? Really gained time through that chicane.
Yeah, he's managed to pull out 8/10 of a second over his fellow BMW of Pete Harrod in the CQR GT car. 7/10 the gap now sits, so pretty close. Ben Gregory is on the move, and he's trying to get by Simon Underhill here.
Yeah, he must have got a good run out of the final corner.
Oh!
He's got a bit wide, and he's gone off the track. Now, if Underhill can get round him and get up the inside into 3, Gregory may have to serve a slowdown penalty. Or even if he doesn't, Underhill's now got the inside for 4.
Oh!
This is where you've got to, I was going to say this is where you've got to be assertive. You want to dominate the corner. He did that in a way, didn't he?
Yeah, turned in. The two met, and the Ferrari definitely came off worse for wear there. He had to go through the gravel and has now come out in 18th place.
That looked like Manny Pacquiao fighting Tyson Fury.
What about KSI and Logan Paul, eh?
At least they were the same side.
Yeah.
The BMW and the Ferrari, not so much.
Let's not forget Logan Paul did have a flu, apparently.
Right, yeah.
He woke up and sneezed.
And I'm Muhammad Ali.
Salty much?
He was.
Yeah, 3 minutes to go here, and the fight of the World GT Championship is continuing here.
Well, let's face it, this is a much better YouTube-based battle than the one we saw the other night in the boxing. Newman versus Warmingham is our main event for the time being, at least.
Yeah, I don't know if there's as much beef between these two as they go to the first corner. Newman doing a good job of keeping the Ferrari ahead. It's one of the rare battles we've got here where it looks like the BMW is putting more pressure on the Ferrari than the other way around.
Michael Blake's had a problem.
Oh, it's that final sector again. He's coming into the corner where he lost it on the opening lap.
Oh.
Let's have a
Looks
look.
like the rear of the car's really unstable.
Oh, yeah.
I wonder if that's a symptom of the car change. He did say that one of the reasons why he ditched the BMW was because he felt that the braking was inconsistent. Well, the problem is he's changed car, and he's changed one very... put it this way, it's more interesting to drive on the rear of the car, isn't it? Than the BMW is.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, the BMW. Well, I can't say because I haven't. There you go. I'm holding my hands. I haven't driven this new one, but from driving the Z4, that was literally one of the most reliable rear-wheel drive cars you could drive on the service. As Baker, oh dear God, oh he's going to be under pressure somewhat here now as they come onto the final corner. Yeah, the BMW Z4 was one of the most dependable rear-wheel drive cars you could get on the iRacing service, and I'm sure it's pretty much the same with the M8. And now you're going to the Porsche, which can give you the wiggle of death and whatnot at some points.
There we go. Baker versus Shield. Porsche versus Ferrari. Oof. Oh, Shield's having a look at... Oh, I thought he was going to have a look at the inside to 3.
What a great exit there.
Be brave, that. Seen it happen. Seen it work a couple of times in the past. Not so much today. You can have a lunch, especially on iRacing, but yeah, it's not somewhere you see a lot of overtaking. Camilleri, might well be his final lap, but it's going to be reasonably close, I think, Adam, as to whether we'll get another one in.
Yeah, he's got just over 30 seconds to get through the final sector, and you're right, I think we might just be the final lap here as they go for the final sector.
Slow down if he wants, I think, even if he feels like he needs to.
Yeah, this should be the final lap, I reckon.
To assure this victory, 15 seconds to go.
Or not.
The chicane, Camilleri. Round the final corner, does he fancy another one? He might get another one, he might not get a choice.
Yeah, another one. Oh, go on then. Another lap. As they come over the line. Very close between these two, by the way.
Now, there's always a situation, Adam, as well, when you have a player just a driver just making it over on the last lap. The fuel issue can come into play for everyone else. But here's Freitas versus Fletcher. Both of them have been a little bit quiet, to be honest. Since the start, they were very feisty at the beginning. Fletcher, oh, it's a good run through 3. He's going to have a go into 4 on the final lap. Could be his final, well, not his final opportunity as such, but he sort of cracked the door open at him. Can he barge through it?
Yeah, these guys were originally fighting for third, but yeah, great exit by the Ferrari there. We'll see what he can do going into the hairpin at the end of the back straight, because this left-hander here definitely isn't an overtaking point at all. The Ferrari sliding on exit. Freitas is holding on for dear life here as they go into the right-hander. Campset.
Yeah, he's got a tiny bit of damage on the front of the wheel, but he's got a good enough exit from Campset. That Fletcher not quite close enough to mount a challenge this time, even on the final lap. So here comes Keith Camilleri then into the chicane. This will be his final pass. Round the final corner he goes and takes the win here at the Circuit de Catalunya. It's one step closer to the World GT Championship for Keith Camilleri.
Great job by the Case Racing Esports car. Christian Rose comes home in second. I don't think we've talked about him all evening. And good evening, as Richard Gafenko comes over the line in P3. And in the end, that battle did go in favour of Miguel Freitas. Top Pro-Am is going to be Mike Gray. He's going to come over the line and finish in P12 here with Ethan Bass in 13th.
He won that last week as well, didn't he?
He did. And I think we'll get a replay up of this in a moment. I think it was a scrap between he and Ethan Bass on the final lap of the race. Yeah, on the final lap. So this could be interesting. And as we await everybody else to finish, let's go back and have a look and see what happened. This was at the start of the final lap.
This is what decided the AM category then. Gray running. Oh, so it looks like Bass got through, and then Gray got it back. Here it is then. Bass goes through. Gray round the outside. And is this where he keeps it? Where he hangs on to it? Yeah, there were only 3 seconds difference in the overtakes. Technically, Bass was ahead going into the braking zone. But I think, Adam, that was it. So the position technically did change hands. But not for too long.
No. And Michael Blake comes over the line. He's the last classified finisher in 21st, and does a stoppie for us there on the exit after just coming over the timing line. So that is it from the opening race. Let's get the results up on the screen and see where they all finished. Keith Camilleri wins 6.6 seconds ahead of Christian Rose in the end. A good drive there by 93 CQR Club Car. Richard Kafenko in third, fourth, just 6 tenths behind Michael Evdoka. Then Miguel Freitas in 5th, just under half a second ahead of Mark Fletcher. Lewis Bibby 7th, Dave Baker in 8th, 9th, a second behind Andy Scheel, and then Ben Palmer completing the top 10. 11th place for Pete Harrod, then the top AM in Mike Gray. That's battle with Ethan Bass was resolved in favour of the XVR Sim Racing car, with the Scotsman Bass finishing in 13th. Brandon Tabone in P14 from the back of the grid. Simon Underhill 15th. 16th for Pete Newman, 17th for Rich Warmingham. Then we've got Ben Gregory in 18th, 19th for Chaz Draycott, and then 20th for Mark Woodhouse. 21st for Michael Blake. We saw his struggles during the race, and then at the back, not the best start to the evening for CQR GT. Jake Blackhall 9 laps down after going off in the gravel, and Matt Bunn was off after half a lap, I think, at the beginning of the race.
Yeah, and it didn't start well for a few of the drivers, but yeah, that's why we've got 3 rounds, because they can make amends later on. That way they'll do that by the reverse grid wheel. So we'll see what that's going to bring us. Chances are we're going to be almost close to a full, aren't we? Really, no matter what, almost.
Yeah, I think so. We're just loading it up now, and then we will find out who will get on the pole for race 2. Here we go. There it is. And let's spin it. Only got 23 cars here today. And it is 14. It is the smallest it could be.
And that will be then Brandon Tabone. So there'll be a few drivers not happy with that reverse grid. Namely Underhill, Newman, Warmingham, Gregory, Draycott, Woodhouse and Blake. But it'll be Tabone on pole with Bass in second, Gray in third, Harrod fourth and Palmer in fifth. When we return at the other side of the break here on the iRacing Esports Network.
To the front bumper, and he hits him again now. Rayon Fowler into the outside wall.
He's gonna pass nearly 3 cars down that front straightaway, and he's gonna get them all done with. What amazing!
Lee to the inside goes Logan Cloudman is gonna touch in. Pit press sideways. What a save!
Look to the outside, and Trunkgate goes off. De Jong into second place.
Going for the switchback. Oh, pinpoint driving.
It's howling down to the inside.
Trying this contact though.
Slide left of the racetrack. Chris Renner drives it back down underneath, and he takes that second spot right back. Joker goes to Garrett Lowe.
Garrett Lowe should take victory with all that contact.
He's going to try and make the move around the outside the parabolica. That's not going to work, but he's going to try and get the cut back here. Get the run out the parabolica. That's beautifully done there. Michael Schumacher, there's a little bit of door banging as well.
iRacing, you wanted the best, you got them 4 abreast. Often imitated, never duplicated. The greatest show on dirt, the World of Outlaws.
to the front bumper, and he hits him again now. Rayon Fowler into the outside wall.
Gonna pass nearly 3 cars down that front straightaway, and he's gonna get them all done with. What amazing!
Lee to the inside goes Logan Cloudman is gonna touch in. Pit press sideways. What a save!
Look to the outside as Trunkgate goes off. De Jong into second place.
Going for the switchback. Oh, pinpoint driving.
It's howling down to the inside.
Trying this contact though.
Slide left of the racetrack. Chris Renner drives it back down underneath, and he takes that second spot right back. Joker goes to Garrett Lowe.
Garrett Lowe should take victory with all that contact. He's going to try and make the move around the outside the parabolica. That's not going to work, but he's going to try and get the cutback here. Get the run out the parabolica. That's beautifully done there. Michael Schubert, there's a little bit of door banging as well.
iRacing, you wanted the best, you got him 4 abreast. Often imitated, never duplicated. The greatest show on dirt, the World of Outlaws.
To the front bumper, and he hits him again now. Rayon Fowler into the outside wall.
Gonna pass nearly 3 cars down that front straightaway, and he's gonna get them all done with. What amazing!
Lee to the inside goes Logan Cloudman is gonna touch in. Pit press sideways. What a save!
Look to the outside as Trunkgate goes off. De Jong into second place.
Going for the switchback. Oh, pinpoint driving.
It's howling down to the inside.
Trying this contact though.
Slide left of the racetrack. Chris Renner drives it back down underneath, and he takes that second spot right back. Joker goes to Garrett Lowe.
Garrett Lowe should take victory with all that contact. He's going to try and make the move around the outside the parabolica. That's not going to work, but he's going to try and get the cutback here. Get the run out the parabolica. That's beautifully done there. Michael Schubert, there's a little bit of door banging as well.
duplicated. The greatest show on dirt, the World of Outlaws.
Welcome back to the iRacing Esports Network. We are on the grid here in the World GT Championship. You are looking at it, and it's headed by Brandon Tabone, Ethan Bass in second, Mike Gray third, Pete Harrod fourth, Ben Palmer fifth. This will be a rolling start, Adam Bass.
Yeah, they did standing for race one. Not too sure if that was
well. I thought.
Not too sure if that was intentional or not. To be fair, I think compared to if you make an error in the race 2 or race 3 session, it's much more easier to do that again than if you make an error like that in race 1, because of course you've had the practice in the official qualifying session taking place in that whole session 2. So you'd have to throw that out and do it all again, pretty much, wouldn't you? So
started to go very well, though, I thought.
Yeah, it did.
It was quite clean. I mean, there was a couple of bits of nonsense around this part of the track on lap 1, but you know, maybe it wasn't an intentional standing start. Certainly good in a way, and mercifully not a full pace lap here like it was at Road America a little bit ago. Right, Brandon Tabone then, he's going to be very, very dangerous in this race. He's the teammate of Keith Camilleri at KC Racing Esports. So, theory, going to be very strong indeed. Tough competition. What a getaway that is. It's one of the best rolling starts I've seen in a long time from Tabone. Shot away like he's fired out of a cannon. Harrod second. Shield coming under pressure from Mike Gray, who won the AM category. Adam, in race 1, he's going up the inside. And he makes it stick into third place. Excellent stuff by Gray. He maintains that position.
Very close between two Beamers. It's Palmer versus Bibby here. Going through the Renault right-hander at turn 3. And they're still at it going into turn 4. Oh,
side by side then. Oh, sideways. Just controls it. Oh, he's a bit sideways again. He's still going sideways. He's lost it completely. Palmer cannot keep it straight. I think his tyres have gone, Adam, potentially.
Yeah, they're really struggling to get any heat into them whatsoever. He was having many near-death experiences there.
There's Bibby around the outside. Another death wiggle for Palmer, who's a very skilled driver in real racing as well. Somehow, do not know how, he's managed to keep that all together on that lap.
Here's the bottleneck of the left-hander at the end of the back straight. It's close between Fletcher and the CQR club car there of Dave Baker. Oh, no.
Sideways, Ferrari.
Seb Docker.
Oh. I'll tell you what though, Adam, going back to the Palmer one, like once you've sim racing for a long time like us, tend to be well aware of your own abilities. I would have crashed there.
Oh, definitely.
In fact, I probably would have crashed 3 times there. I think
Renault, the right hander at the start would have been tough enough for me anyway. It was bad enough in the TCR car, and that was just with the opposite really. That was just with so much understeer. It was unreal. But ends the opening lap then, and it's Tabone, Harrod, then it's Mike Gray in third, who's got Andy Shield all over him like a rash here, and he's up the inside.
Very quick through there. He was quick through sector 1 in race 1, wasn't he, though, Adam? Because he could have a look into turn 3 whenever he wanted. Really, obviously difficult to make a move stick. Gray flirting with the gravel on that corner in turn 4. Managing to, shall we say, not book a second date.
Now here is what transpired with Michael Evdoka on the opening lap. He is on the outside there. He's got the CQR car alongside him. Goes around the outside, up the inside. Touches a bit. Oh no, I'm looking at the wrong car. Was that the BMW that got into the back of him?
I think it's Freitas, isn't it? It might have been Freitas who gave him a helping hand.
Here it is one more time. There it is on the BMW.
There is the big thick boy.
Oh!
Quite a thick punt.
Yeah, punted off
Yeah.
into what I think is the rallycross part of the circuit.
Right there.
Anyway.
Palmer still barely controlled the bloody car coming through the last corner.
Over the line they go. This could be interesting. 3 wide nearly.
Oh my. Camilleri's on the move as well. You see him at the back of this group. Side by side, Palmer and Bibby. Oh, Bibby's forced wide. I wonder if you'll get a slow down penalty for that. He was forced to cut turn 2. We're on board with Keith Camilleri, championship leader, race 1 winner. Looking at the back of the Radicals Online car and Mark Fletcher. Although Dave Bakers looks like he snuck through. You can hear him on our right hand side. He was through momentarily, was the BSRTC champion, season 7.
He's still there, isn't he? Oh, it's Camilleri's teammate Kafenku there, looking up the inside of the former BSRTC champion into the chicane.
Yeah, feisty action in the midfield. Set midfield. It's a low reach to the top 10.
And this is all over a spot for 5th. Up the inside then goes Kafenku.
What's happened to Christian Rose? It's down to 17th.
Yeah, there he is. Now what has caused this?
Don't know, but he will not like what he sees when he looks at the timing screen.
Now this is Freitas, who
he loses the rear, does Christian Rose. Freitas was very lucky, he just didn't get completely wiped out there.
Oh no,
It's like crashed as well.
Yeah, there's something's kicked off here. Now here it is. This is it.
And Newman's been off as well, and that probably tells the story. Underhill going for the inside. That's the same as. Oh no! Birmingham as well.
Blake gets a little slice of that. I think that won't have caused him too much damage, but yeah, it was an identical what we saw in race 1 with Underhill and the BMW trying to get by someone into that complex of corners.
Well, this is look at Chaz Draycott here.
I think he might have just been off the circuit there. So
what I did notice, if you stay, is Woodhouse and Draycott changed position 3 or 4 times. Fletcher's up to 6th now ahead of Bibby. You can see that here. Camilleri's now going to back the BMW.
looks like Ben Palmer's finally found the grip in that BMW was lacking in the early exchanges, because you can see there he's got a 1.1 second cushion.
Yeah, it's cleared off somewhat, hasn't it?
Short-term pain for long-term gain. It looks like for the Sim Sports Racing USA car. If you weather that early storm, then after that the lap times are going to be all the better for it. And at the moment, he's really trying to chase down Mike Gray, the Pro-Am leader, in 4th.
Speaking of gains, Brandon Tabone points second clear now of Harrod. See what the lap times are as they come across then. 4/10 quicker on that lap was Maltese driver. And yeah, we said he'd be dangerous, didn't we? Starting at the front of the grid. He started at the back of the grid for race 1. And now this is a great battle. Pete Harrod, Andy Shield. Shield, again, very strong on this part of the circuit.
This is where he got the place off Mike Gray earlier. Just about enough room given by Pete Harrod on the outside there. It will become the inside line now for Sayat here, the left-hander. Oh, great racing this. Good cutback by Shield. And he is up the inside into the chicane, and he does have the place. So the Sim Sports Racing USA car is now up to second. 4 places gained.
Yeah, and you can't really get through on the run up to certainly can set someone up for the left-hander at turn 10. Close enough this time, Pete Harrod. Probably. Oh, bit of a lock-up for Shield. But yeah, he survives it. I wonder if he's going to be able to mount a challenge to Brandon Tabone. That's the question. It's the one that Tabone won't really want answering.
Just having a look at this this steering input graphic to go through the chicane. That's interesting. I think it's a bit out of sync, but still cool nonetheless. We're innovating here.
Yeah, that's it. That is very. Get that fantastic.
Here is the race 1 winner. This is Keith Camilleri, and just in front of him you can see Ben Palmer has got a Ferrari right back on his tail again. Camilleri also up the inside of Bibby. He's up to 7th. What's the BMW got in response?
Yeah, and you know, for Camilleri, this race and race 3, it's all about just picking up the points, though, isn't it? 7 places gained, 14th he started. Does not want or need to get involved in anything unnecessary.
Jake Blackwell.
Beautifully clean car for Camilleri. But Blackwell and Gregory, yeah.
It's Blackwell up to 12th now. He started stone dead last after his contacts in race 1, and as you can see in the battle box, which has now got position gains graphics in it, he's gained 10. And Christian Rose is up the inside. He finished 2nd in race 1. He's up to 13th here. The comeback trail is on, and you can see how leery these Porsches are. We saw Michael Blake struggling with them in race 1, and even some of the best here in Blackwell and Rose, they too are really wrestling for control.
Yeah, and that's the thing. GT cars sometimes haven't quite got them set up properly. So Gregory at where it was, things, get the car set up properly. Fletcher now ahead of Palmer. For how long, Adam? That you see the front of that BMW is crumpled. Still pretty effective though.
And I don't think he did that from hitting any car really. I think he did that by clobbering one of the massive banana-like curbs on the exit of the chicane they're just about to come into. In fact, so I think that's the reason why the BMW is looking in such a state at the front. And
well, they are there as a deterrent.
Yeah.
Obviously not deterring the drivers as much as circuit safety, like.
But if you're racing in the ARL TCR series, those sausage curbs aren't really anything big. But in these cars that are a bit more aero dependent, I guess they can cause a bit of an issue. Just imagine trying to reverse a Ferrari with such low ground clearance onto a curb here in the UK as Palmer straddles one yet again, going through the tight left-hander.
Well, that's it. And how many times have we seen cars go launched over the curbs? That's why you see in the back the bike chicane, which the riders definitely like at all, but it doesn't have any of the big curves. Okay, think of this circuit, Adam, you think of you know, Mansell and Senna in '91, Maldonado and Alonso 2012. There's been some great battles here. You think of Hamilton and Rosberg's crash in 2016.
Fizzy v Irvine.
Yeah.
98. That one ended somewhat less well. That ended up in them both going in the gravel.
There's been a lot of stuff going on in this. Oh, look at that! Camilleri going for it. Try and take that place back from Palmer. Indeed.
That's Camilleri in sixth place now. 8 places gained. Palmer starting to struggle a little bit. Just when we were saying how it looked like that the BMW was pulling away from everyone, that is not the case. Jake Blackwell, oh no, he's gone off.
Oh, not again.
He's that is the chicane. He's going to do the 3-point turn, and oh, hello. I think he's trying to get going. Oh no, he's not. He's out. Hopefully we see him back again for race 3, but nonetheless, that is the end of Jake Blackwell's second race here, and this is why.
Worth again then. Left, right, middle of the
Oh,
track.
dear.
Oh! Been absolutely rogered
And it's
by
the concrete wall.
sleeping
Yeah.
policeman there.
He's been he's been done by.
Sausage curb was not friendly to him at all.
If you see any other car go over that, they'd be completely fine over it. But it's just the look that that Jake Blackwell has.
I was going to say, that was probably my normal line going across and over there.
It's true.
It's never a problem.
One last time.
This illustrates really that fine margins, really. Oh, is he hit right with Plank? Oh, Plank front. Looks like the it must have been just where the floor. I mean, something in the floor caught, launched the car straight up in the air. Almost. Bad luck for the Australian. I can understand him not carrying on after that.
No, yeah.
Oh, and here goes the BMW over the same thing. Quite with the middle of the car this time. Didn't really happen. Underhill and Warmingham then. The fight for D and 16th place. And we've seen good action from both of these two season. Again, 2 more drivers, Adam, who got really good talent. Harnessing that talent in consistent top 10 performances.
Yeah, you're right. Simon Underhill this season has done pretty well, I must admit, in the Nomad Sim Racing set black car. Currently, he is where he started. Bibby v Palmer as well. That, oh my goodness me! As they go into turn 1.
There's Richard Gavenku. So he's trying to get in on the action. Dave Baker is just behind them as well. He'll be looking for a way through if he can. Looks like, again, the Ferrari strong for turn 3. Gavenku going to go for it. 4. Well, he's up the inside on Palmer here. Now, it's almost impossible to go around the outside here. Don't have a lot of grip on the exit. Yeah, and you see that. Dave Baker trying to capitalise on that. The Porsche getting in on the action. Ferrari. So it's BMW, Ferrari, Porsche and BMW.
Oh!
Oh, off goes
Baker.
And Baker.
And Freitas. And
I just saw Freitas going through the gravel at him. I didn't really see how that came to pass. There's a cone in the middle of the track.
right. This could be interesting.
What's he like? Nudge him in the middle of the corner? Or does he lose it?
Oh, definitely.
Oh, well, that was never going to work, was it, really?
That's the second time today, I think, that Freitas has hit the back of somebody. It was...
I don't really know what he was trying to achieve there. mate, to be honest.
I think it just carried so much speed through the middle to the exit of the right-hander, and
Well, he looked like he was going to go off into the gravel regardless.
True. On the inside goes Gafenko on Palmer. So that's the KC Racing Esports car for another place. Mike Gray versus Mark Fletcher 2.
Oh, yeah. Well, Gray, who is leading the AM category again. He's had a remarkable meeting so far as Mike Gray. Won the AM category in race 1. Gets reversed to nearly the front of the field, while all the other AMs nearly got shoved to the back. And he's taking advantage of that in fine style. He's about 10 seconds ahead of his nearest competitor in the class.
He is,
really
yeah.
Coming together well for him in the second half of the season.
He's of course he's been helped by the reverse grid in this race, but for Mike Gray, this is brilliant for him in the AM category.
He's 8.
Yeah, he's 8.
At the moment. But if you look at the points, he could be up as high as 5th at the end of the night.
Tell you what, Chris Wood and Mark Woodhouse, there's only 2 points between them. Chris Wood isn't here today. Woodhouse currently running 15th, so you'd expect the lead in the Pro-Am category to change hands with just a couple of rounds to go in the series.
Gray locks up, would say nice things about him. Might have heard us, you never know. I will say that Woodhouse will be disappointed because while Chris Wood isn't here, he's sort of got the option of 3 points, hasn't he? And he hasn't really scored that many so far. But you know, I'm sure he'll be looking to rectify that in race 3. Chances of getting a reverse grid of 14 or lower are quite low again. He's 15th, and he's actually working on Underhill at the moment.
Oh,
He's working on trying to make a move on the BMW, and still side by side, Adam. This is a good battle, this.
see what the Porsche can do on the cutback here. The BMW obviously goes from the inside to the outside. The Porsche, though, looking at the inside, but Simon Underhill wise to that move and moves across to cover the inside. But yeah, Woodhouse looking pretty strong in the closing stages. This should be the final lap.
See what Woodhouse can do. Meanwhile, Brandon Tabone coming into the final sector, and he was really that restart, the rolling start that set Brandon Tabone on his way. And it looks like it's going to be the second victory of the night for KC Racing. And it looks like the second victory of the night for Malta. Brandon Tabone coming through the final corner then. And he comes through. And he's going to take the win. KC Racing double up here at Barcelona. 2 wins from 2 for them. Brandon Tabone takes race 2. And a tremendous effort from him.
Andy Shiel and Pete Harrod complete the podium. Mike Gray, a top 6 finish for him, and a Pro-Am victory as well. What about Woodhouse v Underhill? It's going to be the BMW that comes out on top in that fight. Meanwhile, the fight for oh no, has Michael Blake spun or something? I don't know, because Pete Newman is now, he's really struggling to get to the line. He's in 20th. Freitas has come into the pit as... Oh no, I think he's just pulled over in the pit lane exit. I thought he pulled into the pits before he crossed the line. Newman comes home 20th, and Michael Blake finishes in P21, and that is it.
Looking at the...
Oh my goodness me.
Oh dear.
Bringing the series into disrepute as he crosses the line.
Well, Brandon Tabone, that's his second win of the season. And, yeah, well deserved. Andy Shiel with his second podium. Really good performances out there, and actually a first podium of the season. Quite amazingly, I would say, Adam, for Peter Harrod.
Yeah, that's remarkable, really. A great job for Andy Shiel as well, because he's been there or thereabouts all campaign, really. And Sim Sports Racing USA coming on well there. Brandon Tabone then wins the race. 3 seconds ahead of Andy Shiel in the end. Not as big a winning margin that Keith Camilleri had after race 1, but as far as we say in these 20-minute sprint races, a 3-second winning margin is still quite good. Pete Harrod 1.8 seconds behind in third. completing the podium there. Mark Fletcher in 4th, 5th Keith Camilleri, then Mike Gray in 6th. He may have lost 3 places, but still a top 6 in the overall pecking order is still not to be sniffed at, really. Lewis Bibby 7th, then Richard Kafenku in 8th, Ben Palmer in 9th. The BMW was a handful right from the get-go, really. And then Christian Rose, the runner-up in race 1, completing the top 10. Michael Evdoka in 11th, his teammate Ben Gregory in 12th. Then it's Rich Warmingham 13th, Simon Underhill in 14th. Then it's Mark Woodhouse just behind him. And then Dave Baker and Miguel Freitas, 2 drivers that had a bit of a coming together on the back straight. 17th for then Chaz Draycott in 18th, 19th for Ethan Bass. And then we got Pete Newman just about getting over the line with Michael Blake, the last running driver in 21st. And then Jake Blackhall getting done by a bit of track hardware, really, in the sleeping policeman.
It was a little bit of the bobbly, wasn't it?
A little bit of the bumpy, and then crashy afterwards. There we go.
It wasn't good. Poor Jake. I tell you, how many times have we said, literally, that if he had, any luck at all, well, he just can't get any whatsoever, seemingly in his whole career in racing. Right. Well, Adam, reverse grid time for the second time, the final time. Who's going to be on pole for round third, I believe?
Let's find out then. For some reason, the reverse grid wheel is not appearing. Hang on. Let's see if I can rectify this for you. There we go. Let's spin it then and find out who's going to be on pole for race 3. Let's hope it's a big one. That's 14 for race 1. And the only 2 people that are going to be disappointed here, Michael Blake and Jake Blackhall, because it is 20 cars that are going to be reversed for race 3.
Pete Newman then will go on to pole position. See if he can some of the strong pace he's had at time to a strong result. Bass up 2nd, Chaz Draycott 3rd, Miguel Freitas 4th, and Dave Baker in 5th when we return here in the World GT Championship on the iRacing Esports Network.
To the front bumper, and he hits him again now. Rayon Fowler into the outside wall.
down that front straightaway, and he's going to get them all done with. What amazing
Race lead to the inside goes Logan Cloudman is going to touch in. Pit press sideways. What a save!
Look to the outside as Cronkite goes off. De Jong into second place.
Going for the switchback. Oh, pinpoint driving.
It's howling down to the inside.
Trying this contact though.
slide left of the racetrack. Chris Renner drives it back down underneath, and he takes that second spot right back. Joker goes to Garrett Lowe.
Garrett Lowe should take victory with all that contact. He's going to try and make the move around the outside the parabolica. That's not going to work, but he's going to try and get the cutback here. Get the run out the parabolica. That's beautifully done there. Michael Schumacher, there's a little bit of door banging as well.
iRacing, you wanted the best, you got them four abreast. Often imitated, never duplicated. The greatest show on dirt, the world of outlaw.
To the front bumper, and he hits him again now. Rayon Fowler into the outside wall.
Gonna pass nearly 3 cars down that front straightaway, and he's gonna get them all done with. What amazing!
Race lead to the inside goes Logan Cloudman is gonna touch in. Pit press sideways. What a save!
Look to the outside as Cronkite goes off. De Jong into second place.
Going for the switchback. Oh, pinpoint driving.
It's howling down to the inside.
Trying this contact though.
Slide left of the racetrack. Chris Renner drives it back down underneath, and he takes that second spot right back. Joker goes to Garrett Lowe.
Garrett Lowe should take victory with all that contact. He's going to try and make the move around the outside the parabolica. That's not going to work, but he's going to try and get the cutback here. Get the run out the parabolica. That's beautifully done there. Michael Schumacher, there's a little bit of door banging as well.
iRacing, you wanted the best, you got them four abreast. Often duplicated. The greatest show on dirt, the World of Outlaws.
Welcome back to the World GT Championship on the iRacing Esports Network, brought to you by Apex Racing TV. House and Adam Bath will be at the Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya, in beautiful Spain. Adam, the grid is there in front of us. The rolling start is about to take place. Pete Newman on pole.
Really intrigued to see what Pete Newman can do from pole. We spoke to Ethan Bass as well last week, and the BritTech Simsport car starting from the front row. That should be interesting. Chaz Draycott has got a live stream going, and he'll be enthralling many of his viewers because he's starting on the second row with Miguel Freitas. And then we've got Dave Baker, Mark Woodhouse, Simon Underhill, then Rich Warmingham, Ben Gregory, Michael Evdoka, then Christian Rose in 11th, Ben Palmer in P12. And then the rest of the grid is completed by Gafenku, Bibby, Gray, Camilleri, the race 1 winner, Fletcher, Harrod, Shield, Tabone, the race 2 winner, and then starting at the back Blake and Blackhall. Not very good if for the BLAs of the field, as they're both starting at the back.
So, who this could be good for? Very good indeed. Pete Newman. And he'll be starting right now as we get underway. It's going already. It's Newman. There he is. Has a lead over Bass. Draycock coming under pressure from Fraser straight away. Fraser's been strong at the start of the races. Baker in 5th, Woodhouse 6th. As they go down the main straight. Oh, Newman's disappeared. Well, that could be a turn up for the books if that happens later. Draycock then trying to settle into a rhythm. P4, a lot of talent, Chaz Draycock. Both on the track and in the commentary. Sometimes can't put it all quite together. Oh, there's a crash. And it's Camilleri. Keith Camilleri, the championship leader, crashed on the first lap. And Mark Fletcher, it looks like he's also involved in it. So the championship leader and the man who was running second in the series, Adam, come to grief on the first lap.
Yeah, that's in Renault, the long right-hander. We'll see happen in a minute. Pete Newman continues to blink in and out, and Ethan Bass is right on the rear of the CQR P&M with Lizard Car. Oh, watch out for Freitas as well. He's a man on the mission. He's looking at the inside.
Yeah, is he going to be cold-blooded enough to take the place away from Bass? He does. Now he sets about the former PSRTC race winner.
It's going to be tough to get by Newman because that Ferrari is pretty quick.
Newman is a tough cookie. He once raced a meeting from his hospital bed back in the BSRTC, I think in 2015. It's almost quite, and you know, it didn't go massively well for him, I will say that, but just the fact that he was there was enough. So it looks like a move from so there's a move going on there. It's Baker going past Chaz Draycock into 4th position. It's like Woodhouse is having a look as well.
There's of Docker as well. 3 places gained for him after the opening lap. It's very close in the background. That is Richard Gafencu trying to get by Ben Gregory and Lewis Bibby. And now that we've got the first lap in the books, let's go back and have a look and see what happens between Mark Fletcher and oh my goodness me, Mark Fletcher and Keith Camilleri.
It's into 3 then.
Oh,
Fletcher looked like he stuck his nose in. Oh no, it's not Fletcher. It was, of course it wasn't.
That was one of the CQR cars. That must have been
Rose,
Christian Rose.
Rose stuck his nose in there. And that meant that actually Fletcher was coming up behind. And he could not avoid the situation.
Yeah, especially on cold tyres. Let's see what Mark Fletcher saw of all that. This is, we'll look at this one more time.
Here it is then, on board with Fletcher, the driver of car 111.
Oh, dear.
Oh.
Well, you get on the brakes and...
oh, Ben Palmer's crashed at him,
yeah.
Meanwhile.
Oh, dear. Meanwhile... We'll have a look at that in a moment because I think we're about to go 3 wide down the front straight here if Ethan Bass has anything to say in this.
Fastest lap for Ethan Bass as well. And he backs out of this situation, potentially wisely. Freitas and Newman, wheel to wheel through turn 2.
Now, how much grip is there around the outside?
Well, we know that there is some. Seen people overtaking through there in the past. Formula 1. So a couple of overtakes in BSR TCR here as well. And Dave Baker's joining in on the action as well at the back. Let's have a look and see what made Ben Palmer go down to 16th place then. He's had trouble controlling the car in the early going, Adam. I wonder if... Oh, yeah, look like he almost lost that. Going into the right-hander. Yeah, he loses it. I'm pretty sure he loses it.
Back with the leaders. Oh, in the background, Tech Sense Fitstine car at the inside. That's Evdoka
Oh, yeah.
on Woodhouse.
That's brilliant.
And
Raced by Evdoka.
unlike race 1, where the leader pretty much disappeared off into the sunset, I don't think we're going to be getting that here, as we're a quarter of the way through the race and the top 4 separated by just over a second.
Well, the sun is setting, but yeah, no one's disappearing into it. That's for sure. Evdoka's been off. In fact, yeah, he's just lost all that good work.
Yeah, we just saw him in the back of the shot go through the chicane at a very weird angle. Bass flashing the lights in third. Here is what happened. Here is Evdoka. This is a bit before, but we'll follow it on anyway. Woodhouse behind him. Into the complex he goes.
I wonder if he misses the chicane, you know.
Oh!
Oh! Well, we mentioned the bike chicane, Adam. Evdoka just switched from 4 wheels to 2 for the moment.
Very nearly rolled over.
John Surtees out there.
And I think we might have seen that before. I don't know if it was in the GT cars or not, but I think we have seen cars roll over by hitting those curbs. They really are a liability.
We saw it in TCR, didn't we?
God, yeah. We need not
saw
kill.
Snetterton.
Yeah, we need not kill those sausage curbs. Will cause chaos, really.
They'll knock some of these cars over, I'm sure. Newman's settled down at the front, hasn't he? Though he's got into his rhythm. He looks collected. Mark Fletcher sets the fastest lap from last position.
Oh, Christian Rose. He's
there he goes. He's on the old circuit.
He's on the This used to be used by the bikes as well. It's not used anymore by the bikes. And let's have a look at what transpired here.
Do the bikes use the same course as the cars now then?
I think they have gone back to using the oh my.
Oh! Well, it's a lock-up. He was very hard on the brakes. I think he just locked the rears slightly and ended up sliding off to the right. This is Evdoka trying to recover that position that he lost earlier on to Richard Warmingham. Goes through on the BMW there.
Yeah, the bikes they now use the tighter hairpin at the end of the back straight, and I think they have gone back to using the final 2 corners as they were.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
I think they used the chicane
That
for maybe
was
1 year or
after
two.
after the death of Salom, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That last sector, they must have changed that and then realised actually there wasn't a great deal wrong with what they were doing. I think for what I imagine, because I know that the riders hated the chicane. I mean, if you look at, just as a bit of an aside, this is really a comparatively very safe track to say some of the ones raced in even in British Superbikes.
Of Cadwell and Knockhill and yeah.
Even Alton and places like that, they don't have the runoff areas that
Mallory Park, that used to
do.
That used to be on the calendar as well.
Oh yeah.
Chicanes left,
They used
right,
to be
and
on for
centre.
the touring car, well, didn't it?
Yeah.
Or was that Mondello Park? Or was
That's
that
Mondello Park in Ireland. Yeah, Mallory Park in Warwickshire. That was my local track.
But you see, as he goes a bit wide there, there's Draycott a little bit wide, just missed the apex slightly into the chicane. But no, I think this is a tremendous facility, the Circuit de Catalunya. It really is a brilliant circuit. It's one of the best circuits for driving, I think. It's just it sometimes doesn't provide great racing. Not for the single-seaters anyway. But certainly in these GTE cars, and Pete Newman, Miguel Freitas, gloves are off now. We're seeing a terrific battle. And this is Evdoka trying to recover another place, going around the outside of the BMW of Underhill.
Credit to Pete Newman. He's driving the car like a MotoGP bike, really, especially through the first chicane there. He's shifting it from the right to the left pretty quickly so that Freitas can't get up the inside through the second part of the chicane.
He really is driving a tremendous race, Pete Newman. He is a veteran of iRacing. He knows how it's done. He knows how to win races. Won races with his own team. But I believe he's under pressure now from Freitas. just 0.2 of a second in it. But there's very little room to go through in this sector, isn't there, really? It's very much one line, unless you really have a dive. But somebody's got to make a mistake to force an overtake in this last sector, I believe.
Dave Baker's starting to really get involved here, isn't he? We've got 4 different teams in the top 4 places. CQR, P&M with Lizard, then Team Mad, then Brit Tech, and there's been a crash at the chicane. That's Rich Warmingham.
Warmingham and
Bibby.
I think it's the other one, yeah.
Right.
Some BMW on BMW crime here. And we were just saying about having a look up the inside into the chicane. Oh, it didn't work, and synchronised spinning there. And there's another BMW with no front on it, and that's Palmer, I think.
Guys, that front end has had its work cut out today. Race 2, it was all sorts of crumpled from his trips over the sausage curbs, and
now it's literally been cut out.
Yeah,
it's gone.
Shades of Terminator. Except in this one, he is still going.
Well, he won't be back either, because this is the last race of the evening. Might be back next week. When we head to, at the moment, God knows where. Actually, we don't.
I think it is it should be Watkins Glen regardless. I think, and then
should be the New York circuit. See what we get. That's another magnificent track as well. Great historic Grand Prix venue from one current one to a previous one.
That's changed quite a bit since the iRacing scan's taken place as well.
Oh yeah,
a lot of tarmac runoff areas on the circuit.
Oh, that's Underhill having a go to the chicane, and Chaz Draycott has driven well in this one. I know we're slightly biased since he used to work with us, but he's driven greatly, and as has Pete Newman, who's now defending in a terrific manner against Miguel Freitas. Freitas is all over the first sector of them. He's trying every kind of line that he knows. The Iberian in Iberia.
The foothills of the Monster at Mountains, which is where I've been. Haven't been to this track though. Did drive past it on the coach, but here Freitas is providing pressure by the busload here going into the Seat hairpin. Running over the curbs on the exit. Just 0.2 of a second between these two, and it's Ferrari versus BMW, something we haven't seen for the lead so far tonight. And I think the straight line speed is really helping out Newman here.
Well, the end of the line on this route is the checkered flag. Newman's trying to get there as quickly as possible. But Freitas, well, he's as close as he's ever been now. And trying to go around the outside there is a very difficult task. Almost an insurmountable one. And it proved to be just that for Miguel Freitas as he struggled to wrestle the lead away from Pete Newman. Well, the field is much reduced from how it started the season, but all the drivers that remain are elite in every sense of the word. And some more elite racing going on between Evdoka and Underhill. Top gear now for them, full gear indeed, into turn 1 and 2. Look at the margins, they're very close to contact as Underhill's trying to find a way past the Ferrari.
You can see from these onboards where the Ferrari's strong, and that Renault right-hander that looks particularly strong there too. We saw that with Newman and Freitas. Freitas was all over the back of Newman after the first chicane, but after that Renault right-hander at turn 3, Newman was able to just pull away maybe a tenth or two that helps bide him some time throughout the rest of the lap. And the fight for the third spot on the podium is also heating up.
Andy Shield has been very strong through turn 3 as well. I think the strongest out of all of them. Here's Ethan Bass then still trying to maintain that advantage over David Baker. Of course, Bass, P3. Freitas and Newman, did they just make contact at turn 10? They look extremely close. I don't know. Bass at the moment, he's looking at a little bit of the bubbly, but can he get there? Indeed.
Chaz Draycott getting forced back a few positions. The KC Racing Esports have arrived to do their work on him potentially.
Surely not. Oh, just say surely not. Brandon Tabone up the inside into the final sector. Race 2 winner, and this is the cork in the bottle of the bubbly now.
It's so close everywhere you look in this field.
He needs to go to the white line, Draco, otherwise they're all going to come through. Bass versus Baker. Where are we going to look? What's happening with 3 wide nearly? Hansel and Senna style down the main straight here in Catalunya. Just like 1991 all over again. This time it's Draco, Gafenku, fighting hard in the Ferraris. Oh, and is he just overlapping? Is he, Tabone? He's going to look up the inside into 4 on them as well. This is ridiculous stuff. We've got Harrod and Shield behind them as well.
Well, both KC Racing cars are through.
Oh, Dracon, he locks up, and he might, in his attempt to avoid Tabone, I think he T-boned Shield slightly.
And now this is the fight for 5th. Docker has just got past Woodhouse, so that's another place gained for the TechSense Fitstyle car.
Just 2 tenths at the front as well. The race lead is under threat, and a mistake by Newman. Mistake by him.
Oh my word.
And it might allow Freitas to go through this time. How many attempts is the Portuguese going to have? How many attempts is Newman going to defend? How long can he repel this assault for? Well, the answer is at least for a few more corners, Adam, but as is the case with this new layout here, I say new, it's been there since 2006, but that final chicane, you get on the throttle so much earlier than your opponent.
And Newman's has bided some time here because Freitas wasn't great at all on the exit of the chicane. The gap's gone up to half a second. Meanwhile, bubbly time. It's Baker, Bass, and bubbly at stake, and it's Baker that's through.
Oh, Dave Baker going into 3rd position then. Well, he has been Le Champion in the past. Dave Baker. He might have Le Champagne to drink later. And here's Draycott versus Gray. Newman, incidentally, not only winning the race at the moment, leading the AM category, and that's important. Because if we look at the standings, well, means that yet again Woodhouse isn't going to score as many points as what potentially could have done.
John Roberts on the YouTube chat. Chaz Train, choo choo.
Choo choo indeed.
And I think we're going to choose to go back for the fight for the lead.
Can actually pinpoint the moment where Freitas is patience might be snapping in 2.
You can see where the BMW is quicker. And where the Ferrari's at its best, the Ferrari is gaining all the time through this final corner and through the first part of the first sector. After that, the BMW just chews into that Ferrari's lead.
The Ferrari's got terrific acceleration, traction. BMW's very stable in the fast corners, medium speed corners. Yeah, look how stable it is now, Adam. Look how much he closes in. Freitas is trying every trick in the book. He's very experienced. He's won championships on Apex Racing TV in the past. Now he's trying to win this 3rd race of the day here on the iRacing Esports Network. We're really thankful that you're spending your Monday evening with us, Andrew Woodhouse and Adam Bath, for Apex Racing TV, the World GT Championship. Oh, and Freitas is in the gravel. Freitas might have thrown it all away.
And this might be the final lap, so he's not going to be able to recover from that.
There's some crashes further down as well. Shield and Gray and Bibby and Underhill and over is Gray. If found upside down, please return to the pit lane. Oh dear. Here comes Ethan Bass. He's looking to take the bubbly away from Freitas. Oh, crash! Contact into the braking area. This race has degenerated into an absolute brilliant spectacle on this lap. Really know what's happened. But what we know is that coming through the final corner, Adam, is going to be Pete Newman. And if this is the checkered flag, he's going to take the win. It is. Pete Newman wins in Spain.
What a drive. What a defensive drive by Pete Newman, keeping Freitas at bay for that long. Freitas does get third place in the end. But, wow, what a fantastic drive by him. Ben Palmer, well, he's come across the line in 11th, minus the front end of his BMW. That was a very close scrap. And Chaz Jacob finishes P9 in the end. I think one thing we've got to work out is how on earth did Mike Gray end up on his roof?
Those two, by the way, Chaz Draycott, Ben Palmer, they do work together. Chaz helps Ben out with his racing. He does media work for him, I believe. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it was looking very, very good indeed for these guys. Gray's coming into turn 4. Oh, is a car slow?
It's underhill.
It's underhill. And then, oh, God.
Obliterated, I think.
That was Camilleri, I think, coming through and finishing him off there.
Right, here is underhill.
Let's lose the rear.
He's got the Porsche of Woodhouse in front of him.
By the way, I will point out. Oh, the rear locking thing. Pretty sure it was rear locking.
Then
I will point out just quickly, due to time constraints, we won't have any interviews tonight. So apologies for that. Hopefully we'll have some after the Watkins Glen race.
Who was the car that clobbered Paul Gray?
Camilleri hit into whoever was just immediately behind, I think.
It all slows down and
Camilleri, it was
Shield. Oh yeah, Shield flies into the back.
I just saw a black and white car and I assumed it was Camilleri because he's in that sort of place. But if you look, Camilleri actually managed to get through all that. See him, he squeezes through on the inside, look. He's the yellow car. Look how Camilleri just, look at that. Just squeezed through and absolutely, it's like hammering a nail into something, wasn't it? Andy Shield was the hammer in that situation. But yeah, that was an unbelievable race. I really enjoyed that one. Brilliant from Pete Newman to defend it. This is what happened to Freitas. I think, Adam, it's just a simple mistake, really. Trying very hard.
Goes to the outside and then,
there's no grip out there, my friend.
Yeah, wow, what a fantastic final race that was. We've been starved of a lead battle all evening, and we were treated to a really tasty duel there. Right, finishing order up on your screen.
That was a thriller, absolute thriller. Sorry.
Pete Newman wins. David Baker finishes in second. Miguel Freitas in third. Not too often this season where we find a Pro-Am driver winning. And Michael Evdoka finishes in fourth. A fantastic drive through the field. That must be said for him. Ethan Bass in fifth. It was so close to a podium. But in the end, he finished in fifth. I think that's because he didn't serve a slowdown penalty. Because he definitely finished ahead of Evdoka, I'm sure of that. Woodhouse finishes in sixth. Then Richie Kafenko in seventh. Eighth for Brandon Tabone. Ninth for Chaz Draycott. Good drive there. And then Keith Camilleri in 10th. Ben Palmer, 11th. Then it's Pete Harrod. 13th for Lewis Bibby. Then Andy Shield. And then Christian Rose, Mark Fletcher, Simon Underhill, Michael Blake in P18. And then 19th for Mike Gray. Ben Gregory, 20th. And then the cars that were out earlier, Richard Warmingham and poor Jake Blackall. Just going to double check, actually, that before we go, that did Ethan Bass lose a place to Evdoka on the way to the line? And the answer is no.
I can think.
No, I can't see it. So, yeah, it must have been. We did see, of course.
Did he serve a slowdown? Did he miss the chicane or something?
He went wide, didn't he, on the exit, the slow left-hander at the end of the back straight?
Yeah.
I think that That could be what it is. Here it is. Here we go. This is it again. Oh no, that's Freitas off. Here we go. This is the battle. I may as well stick with this to the end.
Yeah, so it's coming through Campsa. Freitas makes a mistake. Bass gets a really good run. He's all over the course trying to get through. Tries to pinch him in. They make contact. He runs wide.
Slow down for that.
Unless he cuts the right hand.
Oh, locked up.
He makes a mess of the. He makes a mess of it.
Oh.
Oh, hello.
Oh, and then up the inside.
There's the slowdown.
Yeah.
So it must have been, you're right, it must have been for the outside of turn 10 for Ethan Bass, but he still gets 5th. I think he'll still be very happy with that deed. So thank you, everybody. This is all we've got time for tonight on the iRacing Sports Network. This has been the presentation of the World GT Championship by Apex Racing TV. Andrew and Bath from all of us here. Good night from us all. See you guys in the next one.